Anksčiau tai taip, nes jeigu 5 vidurinės direktorius pasakė ypač, kad dabar tokiems nebūtinai mokytis. Tai kaip čia nesijausia diskriminuojama.
But now, each day, Ivona attends a centre specialising in services for the disabled. The Valakupiu Centre offers vocational training to help people with disabilities enter the job market. Ivona is taking courses in accounting.
Taip jaučiuosi, kadangi aš jaučiu daugiau įsigijusi žinių ir esu pasiruošusi psichologiškai. Žinau, kad yra tokių žmonių dirbančių ir kadangi aš šiek tiek pergyvenu, bet vis tiek aš, žinau, kad aš būsiu ten apmokyta ir...
Now she has reached the most difficult step, finding an employer interested in her application. Fighting preconceived ideas remains a priority for many people.
Le gros problème en matière de discrimination est qu'elle est héritée d'une tendance historique où l'individu a tendance à discriminer l'autre parce que l'autre a une différence et qu'un code de valeurs d'une société va avoir tendance à se préserver et à rejeter la différence. Donc tout l'enjeu est de changer cette première approche et d'avoir une approche positive à la diversité qui donc passe par de la sensibilisation et par un travail d'éducation profond.
Let's return to Belfast.
Good morning. My name's Aidan Fitzpatrick. I'm one of the Employment Development Managers here in the Equality Commission. You're all very welcome to the Commission today for one of our employer training sessions. Today we're going to cover an overview of equality law here in Northern Ireland. We're going to concentrate today on the employment aspects.
The Equality Commission regularly organises information sessions for employers.
Even with the best of legislation, either at the European or at the national level, you cannot be sure that discrimination will stop unless the mentality of each of us changes.
People are afraid of difference. After studying in London, Santa has just returned to her country, Lithuania. In Vilnius, she knows she will have to take on her old reflexes and hide the fact that she is a lesbian.
Man atrodo, dėl abiejų dalykų aš nesistengiau to sakyti, nes visų pirma, aišku, aš niekada jokio agresyvumo nepatyriau, bet ir nenorėčiau, ir aš tiesiog laikausi tokios nuomonės, kad kam sakyti žmonėms, kurie to nesuprastų, kam jiem reikia žinoti, nes tai sukeltų daugiau problemų.
Discrimination can be found in areas other than employment. Several associations endeavour to inform the public about this issue.
People still can be bullied in school, and schools have no legal obligations to take any action against bullying. You can be still called and sent to a veterinary doctor when you're going and reveals that you're homosexual, as one man from Poland revealed to us. A couple from Portugal, lesbian couple from Portugal, told us that when they were having a romantic dinner in a restaurant, they've been asked to leave.
At present, outside the labour market, the only type of discrimination prohibited in all areas of life by a European directive is discrimination on the grounds of race and ethnic origin. Various organisations have called for supplementing the existing legislation to protect all the grounds for discrimination outside the labour market. The European Commission is also convinced of this need.
The organizations that support the interest, they're all in favor. The business world, perhaps a bit afraid of complications of a legal nature, of a financial nature, and some member states who are saying, well, is this not something we can sort out ourselves without the European Union? But my response to the negative voices has always been, we are not talking here about something which we, how shall I say, should think about as a luxury which we can or cannot afford. Non-discrimination is related to the fundamental value which the European Union is proud of equality between each and every one of our citizens.
Hi, good morning. You're through to the Legal Division of the Equality Commission. Paddy Conway speaking. How may I help you?
I applied for promotion work and I didn't get it. And the person who did get it was much younger than me and of a different race. And I just wanted to know what I should do.
If you believe you've been discriminated against in relation to not getting...
Heavy sanctions can be applied for discrimination in the area of employment. Victims of discrimination can lodge a complaint in court and receive assistance in this process from equality organisations.
Of the 3,000 individuals who come to each year, about 500 apply to us for legal assistance with help, and our staff again advise people how to apply for legal assistance. Once they're assisted, our staff also provide legal representation for them in the local courts and tribunals.
The ending was that the case was proven, and I was awarded substantial compensation.
Terry McCoy was thus compensated over £70,000 for damages. The sanctions vary from one country to the next, and the European directives only stipulate that the sanctions applied must be effective, proportionate and dissuasive.
Okay, we're now in Sandy Row, which is pretty much 100% Protestant. It's a Protestant enclave situated in South Belfast.
Ricardo Cafola also applied to the courts for another form of discrimination. He was a manager in a hotel located in the Protestant section of Belfast. While most of the staff was from the local community, thus Protestant, Ricardo and his assistant were Catholic.
The local community had issues with us because of our religion and because of our position within the hotel as well.
Ricardo and his assistant were fired by the hotel management after they had taken disciplinary measures against certain Protestant employees.
We were fired actually for the reason of poor timekeeping. It was later found that because of our religious beliefs, that's why we had been fired.
Ricardo also consulted the Equality Commission and won his suit in court. Let's come back to Ivona. She has an appointment at the supermarket where she's landed her first job.
Kęstutis atrankų vadybininkas, labą dieną Kęstuti. Mes su Ivona atvažiavome apžiūrėti darbo vietos pritaikytos neįgaliajam, dirbti kasoje.
There is a lot of misunderstandings about what disabled people are capable of. They are very often looked at people that cannot do certain things instead of what they can do. And the disability is then seen as a very big obstacle, which in practice it may not be. But even if it's an obstacle, it's very often possible to address that.
It was the Valakupiu Centre that convinced this employer he could have faith in Ivona. The centre also monitors the adaptation of her workstation.
Mūsų visuomenėje vyksta teigiami procesai, dideli teigiami procesai neįgaliųjų socialinės integracijos srityje. Tačiau vis dėlto dar mūsų visuomenėje pasitaiko atvejų, kai darbdaviai, kiti visuomenės nariai vis tik neatsikrato tų stereotipų apie ir to neigiamo požiūrio į neįgalųjį kaip į lygiavertį darbo rinkos dalyvį.
Even if the cashier's job isn't Ivona's ideal career move, she had hardly ever dreamt of making this first step into the working world.
Kažkaip atrodė, kad neįmanoma tai. Ypač kasoje dar tokia didelė parduotuvė, tai nebuvo nesvajonės.
In Europe, hundreds of organisations and projects aim at fighting discrimination. The European Commission does not restrict its efforts to legislating. It also supports a good number of these projects, especially those focusing on public awareness. It also organises training and information campaigns. Furthermore, the European Commission is convinced that progress can still be made at national level.
We are now in contact with all the member states because we have looked at the national legislation and we have come to quite a number of questions whether the basic rule at the European level has been properly translated into national law. And that is the role of the European Commission, to make sure that what has to be done is done properly. And we believe that there is still improvement to be done. And since we have come to that conclusion, we think there is an extra reason to look wider now and to look also at the other causes of discrimination outside the workplace.
Discrimination still exists in Europe, but the EU's inhabitants have a growing number of means available to fight the various forms of discrimination. One component of this struggle is the right to speak about the issue, as these people have done. Soon we can hope that all people like Jaspreet, Ivona, Ricardo, Arnoldas, Terry or Santa will be protected from these forms of exclusion.